So this just a little quick presentation about understanding your gene pool, your DNA pool. You understand? Stay on code. Welcome to the real free thinking, red pill space, manosphere space, black African power space. You understand me? Welcome. We in here. So, I want to point out the Ethiopian. I want to point out the Sahara, the sand. I want to point out West Africa. I ain't even gonna get into who was the Hebrew slave because you got Kyrie and them going up. I ain't gonna get into are the Egyptians white, and we're gonna go too deep, but we just gonna get a little quick little hot
The
lesson.
one population in their analysis that was
like, comment,
seemingly
subscribe
not
in the
clearly
bottom.
classified on
Open your
continental
mind,
grounds
shut your
was
mouth.
Ethiopian,
Let's get it.
who
Go.
clustered more into the Caucasian group. But it is known that African populations with close contact with Middle East populations, including Ethiopians, North Africans, have a significant admixture from Middle Eastern Caucasian groups and are thus more closely related to Caucasians. Talk black to me. You dig? So this is public information. You ain't got to go dig this up in the Library of Congress or the Smithsonian somewhere, right? Just think logically, okay? Ethiopian gene pool was estimated to be 40% of Caucasoid derivation, something Calavali, Safanza, 1994. In addition, more recent phylogenetic analysis based on classical protein Okay, let's go to the bold, because that's over everybody's head. Ethiopians appear to be distinct from Africans and more closely associated with the populations of the Mediterranean basin. Ethiopians and Somalis have great genetic resemblance to Caucasians and are clearly intermediate between sub-Saharan Africans and Caucasians. Okay? Understand what they're saying. Ethiopians and Somalians have a great genetic resemblance to Caucasian and clearly intermediate between sub-Saharan Africans and Caucasians. Just make it make sense. Next time you see an Ethiopian, stop and ask him, do you consider yourself Caucasian? African, Caucasian, Asian, and Pacific Islander. The one population in their analysis that seemingly not clear classified on continental ground was Ethiopian. Right? So I just had to, post a whole page so that you don't think I typed this up. I didn't make this. This is just research. And, look it up yourself. Ask an Ethiopian. Right? Make it make sense. Let's see the gene pool they talking about. Okay. You see that gold bubble in the middle, that like tannish, dark yellow. I don't know whatever color you see it as. The circular bubble in the middle is the Caucasoids, right? When you move on up a little bit, the green bubble is Ethiopian. Okay. The top one is true Negroids, right? Do you see what you're looking at? Ethiopian is outside of the true Negroid, which is Pygmy, West African, Bantu, and Neortic. I can't really make that out. But that Saharan African, look how they come up out of the gene pool. And don't get caught up in it coming up out the gene pool, because everything done came up out the gene pool. That one stem of sand, is that sand, the sand people, like the Khoi, I think. But the sand African spawned the Ethiopian. Let's see what the sand look like. So this is what the sand people look like. Now, they in the middle of the chain of evolution, the gene pools, plural. You saw with your own eyes the sand was in between Caucasian, the Caucasoid, and the true Negroid. It was in between by itself. It had a leg coming from the Negroid, and it had a leg going to the Ethiopian. My fault, the Ethiopian. But the point I'm trying to make is, if this is the oldest people, this is the oldest tribe, how are they not at the top? How are not how is the true Negroid not coming from them, right? So even if you want to kick it like, well, because they branch on the tree is alone, like there first, and then the branch went two different ways. Like it went Negroid, and then it went down to Ethiopian, and went down to Caucasoid. But just that don't really make sense to me. Maybe, in the comments, teach me something, you know what I mean? Because the true Negroid got one stem coming from it down to the sand, but the sand got two. Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, let's look at the Bantu pygmies, right? So what you see on your screen is Bantu, pygmy, right? Congo, West Africa, right? And they saying these people came from the sands people. I understand people getting lighter from darker, but it's rare that people get darker. You feel what I'm saying? I would think the lighter people came from the darker people. You see my man teeth. We ain't getting into why they got the sharp teeth. You see it. But that looks very human. That looks like your next door neighbor. These people look like the people live across the hall from you. Kids you went to school with, your cousins, and look at it. These are your true Negroids. These are your Bantu. These are your West Africans. Life comes from the Nile. Life comes from water, plants. You are a plant. You don't have nothing to do in the desert. Only thing that grow in the desert is like cactus and stuff that hold water. It's the region, the pygmies. They all in the middle, towards the west. Look at them. The pygmies gonna lead you into Ptah, right? We'll teach a different lesson on Ptah. Here goes some photos of the Caucasoid done got up there with him, but okay, your man got the fez on. What's going on with the fez? Talk to me. About Twa Indians, I don't know if you saw that. Pay attention. Look at them, these are grown adults that's only growing like 4 feet. I wonder why the Congo got a brutal history, but the sand don't, right? Papua New Guinea, they look just like the pygmies. The Twa, Ptah, you see the Twa was the short one, right? I encourage y'all to know your history. You feel me? That's why when you put Bantu and pygmy,
They all kind of one and the same. So let me show you where they're coming from. So you got the sand down bottom in the desert, the sand-Saharan desert. But you got the pygmies in the middle. You got the Bantu in the heart of Africa, where the Nile run through, where the Congo is lush with plant life. And look at the Fez. Look at the Fez. What's going on? He with the Caucasoid. You see, he got a shirt on. He not with. You dig what I'm saying? These are your Bantu. These are your pygmies. There's certain lessons and certain books gonna tell you Ptah and the pygmies were the original people, not the doggone, not the sand. You know, then when you look up what Bantu is, look, that's you. This is us. No scary features, no monster, no, you know, and they in the true they in the true Negroid bubble. Look at the Bantu all through there. But the sand, you saw on the map, the sand had a little speck of area, a little space. Look at the Khoi. We ain't gonna get into the Khoi. Now I bet the Bantu predate the Orientals, and the triangle hat usually associated with the Oriental. The Bantu knots. It's almost like the Fibonacci sequence, the Bantu knots. Look at them.